Hey Miss Amy, this is video journal number 11 for Intro to Broadcasting, and today we're going to talk about the film that we watched in class and the questions. Question number 1. What was the name of the film? The name of the film was, I believe, Tom Dowd. Question number 2. How does the telling of this person's story aligns with what we have been discussing in Intro to Broadcasting? Okay. So what I said is how back then it took hours to record instruments and put it on tapes, where they would have to cut it and they had to tape it and put it together, and they had to do that over and over and over again until they get what they are looking for. And then for modern days, it's crazy because we could just record something onto the computer and then just use the software just to mix it down, and that can all be done in literally 2 easy steps. So what I'm trying to say is back then they had to record it, put it on these tapes, they had to keep running it, they had to cut it, and then they had to tape it to another tape, and they had to keep doing that until they get one tape. And then today we could just, literally just record something, put it on a computer, and, we could just mix it down. And if we would have made a mistake on the computer, we could just redo it. Unlike for them, if they make a mistake, they may have to possibly start all over from scratch. Okay. Question number 3. What are 3 interesting facts about the person in the film for me personally, and why? Okay, so for the first one, the main dude, which I believe his name is Tom, how back then before he got into the music industry, the audio industry, he used to work on radiation, nuclear stuff that would eventually lead to the very first atoms bomb that would be dropped in Japan in World War II. So I thought that was pretty interesting, how he used to do radiation and now he's into the music, and he was the first person that will lead up to the atoms bomb. The second fact is that this is about stereo. So back then, everything was just straight up mono. Every company was just using mono, and that he would be one of the first people that would try to push for stereo. And I thought it was pretty cool how they did in the video where, back then they just used mono, they used one instrument. If they want to do something stereo, they have one dude stand on one side of the mic, and they have another dude stand on the other side of the mic with the same instrument, and they would just play it back and forth, and then that would create stereo. And then the third fact, this was, I don't know the name of the guy, the movie. I don't know if they even said his name, but this was the dude that it's an old guy that made his whole house into a studio. Literally everything in the house was a studio. And I mean, from the bathrooms, the kitchen, the living room, his whole house was a studio. But the one thing that was interesting is that he had these machines, and they were stack up on top of each other. And I think each machine was it was a track. It did a single track, but he had them stacked up, and they would call it. He called it the octopus, and that was a 24 track. So I thought that was pretty interesting. And then all the buttons that they had to purchase, all these things he had to do, to make what he wants to make it sounds good, compared to what we could do on a computer. With just one machine. He had to use multiple machines just to make one sound, or just a track, one track. And then the last question, what legacy did this person leave with regards to the audio and broadcasting introductory? And I believe that is the language of music. And that's all I have.